Lads and ladies, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm actually still thinking of what I want to talk about because I have the mind's kind of racing with ideas. So this is a pretty captivating intro right off the bat. What I'm going to be talking about here is the power. Sounds like bullshit the way I pick it up. The power of days and compounding. So I thought about this because I've been going to the gym for years, but recently I've been reading Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, and I started to run, and I did it like 4 days in a row, and I increased it by pretty much like a mile every day. And I was starting very bad. Like I was doing like a mile in the beginning, um, which I guess it kind of varies on where you're at. Like maybe that is hard. It literally was hard for me a week ago. Then I upped it to two, three. Then the next day I wanted to get four, but I didn't have time because I had class. But then I did up it to four, and then yesterday, I pretty much did that for 4 days in a row. Stopped, and then realized like, what the fuck am I doing? I can't let this book like not change my life. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be the person who reads the book, and it does not do anything for them. So yesterday I went for a 5 mile run and I felt good, man. Like I came off the 5 mile run and I was like, I could go way longer. So obviously during the process, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, but like towards the end, it was great. So the reason I'm bringing this up though is because this morning I was journaling because I was trying to reflect on it because I feel like I do things like that where I'll do something pretty big and I just like won't reflect. I'll just be like on to the next, and like that's good, but it's also not good. So it hit me this morning, and maybe I've had this. I know I've had this realization before anyway, but time passes for everybody. And some people just let entropy happen, where like time just passes and you're just the same, right? Like you just kind of fall into the rhythms, you do your shit, and nothing changes. This is why, I mean, you can see people a year later and they're like the same, right? There's no like drastic life experience. And this is why I want to change in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of ways I haven't changed, right? I haven't done a lot of traveling. This is why I have family who they're going to college in a whole other like state, or I have a family member that is literally traveling the world. Like that is shit where you come back and you're not the same. You're like, dude, I saw you like 2 years ago, when you were here, and now you traveled the entire world. Here you are 2 years later. Like you're not going to be the same person. But it's like if that person stayed home for 2 years, they might be the same person, right? Because they're still in the same habits, doing the same things. They're not like building their character. So that's an area I lack entirely, and I want to get that in place. But the reason I bring this up is because it hit me that people are letting entropy happen. People are letting their lives pass, and they're not seeing the value of like days, right? In terms of like, obviously, in terms of just like being grateful, like you're alive, like days are amazing, obviously, but also in terms of like what can be done in a day that would be so significant. Like even this YouTube video, I was like, I don't really want to film this. I want to do it later at night. And I was like, but I need to know right now that I'm going to get a video done today because that's important. Because if I post one video a day, what does that mean for me, right? Because that's a big, like a one a week to one a day is a huge gap, man. Like I don't know if I made a video on this before and I'm kind of sounding like I'm repeating myself, but it's fucking true. So what I realized was I was increasing my run by a mile every single day. Not like every single day, because like I said, it went 4 days and then it stopped. And then even now, like I have class in like 40 minutes, totally fucking up my run. I'm joking, but I'm really not joking because I'd much rather go on a 6 mile run than go to class. But so I was increasing my run by a mile every single day, a mile a day. And it hit me that now I really don't have time for the, actually that's kind of an excuse. I guess there's always time for the run, but once I go to class, I'm going to come back and then go to the gym. So like whatever, maybe there is time for a run. But it hit me that like if I did something like a run and incrementally increased it every day, I would be a fucking beast by like a month, right? Like think about how big that is. I mean, I'm at 5 miles right now. That's my max run, like 5.25. And maybe it's really just 5 cuz like there's a little bit of walking there. And I mean very little, but still. Um but in 1 month, if I really was increasing it each day and hitting the limit, which I have been, I mean, we're not in the crazy areas yet, only 5 miles. But if I was able to increase that 1 mile a day, in 1 month, I would have run 30 miles in a day, like in one run. So like imagine like, someone sees me in a month, they didn't see me last month, and they're like, oh, what have you been up to? And then I have that, right? I ran 30 miles yesterday. What? But think about how big, and think about the quick change. But that's only from doing a run, starting at a mile, just 1 mile, and increasing it a mile each day, each day, each day. So it just hit me that not only is that important, incremental, like starting and then just incrementally getting more and more and more, because you don't value it enough. You don't see that the little effort with a little bit of increase is exactly what you want, right? Like it's crazy. Like even cleaning your room, like I want my room to be entirely clean. I'm missing the fact that if I was able to just clean one drawer or clean the closet or move one thing and then just do, 10 minutes the next day, 15 minutes the next day, I would have the cleanest room in the fucking world, right? It would be spotless. There would be no problems, whatever. So I think it's just funny that we a lot of the times miss, because we're going for this big goal, right? Like I'm reading David Goggins and I'm like, oh, I want to run 200 miles. But you're missing the fact that if you increased a mile every day, in a month you'd be at 30, which again is crazy, but you're building up to it slowly. And again, I've never been there yet, but I have been incrementally increasing a mile each day. So I just bring that up because it's so crazy what starting and incremental changes can do. Because I just heard Jordan Peterson talking about this with Chris Williamson, because I was writing this for a newsletter. And I was just like, damn, like you just got to start with the smallest task. Like put your fucking shoes on and step outside. That's it. Next day, but the next day you got to go further than that. You got to do more. Then you got to fucking take 10 steps, right? And then you got to take 1,000 steps. And then you got to do a mile and then 5 miles, or, like whatever your incremental jump is. But you start at the smallest possible base thing that you can do. And then you go from there. And he was saying a lot of the times, as Jordan Peterson, it's just sad, right? Like he gave an example of like cleaning your room. Just open the drawer and look at it, right? And he was like, a lot of people might like come in the next day, because he's telling this example of like a therapist saying this to someone, and they'll come in the following day and be like, that was pathetic. But he's like, you got to get there, because if that's the only thing you could do, like you open the drawer and look at it and you're like, this isn't even useful. But it's like, you couldn't even maybe do that. You haven't even opened that drawer in 5 years, right? You haven't looked through those clothes. You haven't rearranged it. So you got to start at the smallest task. And sometimes it is sad, right? Sometimes it is like, I didn't even go for a run. I just put my shoes on and stepped outside. And that's fine. But the next day you got to increase it. And the reason I say this is because you don't see the value of days for the most part. I feel like, or like I'm talking to myself here too. But think about the compounding effect of that. Like in 1 month, I could be doing 30 miles. That's fucking ridiculous. If I just casually told someone, like, oh, what have you been up to? Yesterday in the morning, I ran 30 miles. That's some badass shit, right? But that's only a month away. But think about how many people in 1 month have zero change. Zero. Not even in an area. Not even like, oh, in my fitness, it's gotten better, but finances have stayed the same. This has stayed the same. This has stayed the same. Like most people, and again, I have my areas, abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely I do. And I know I do. That, to me, is just so disheartening that in 1 month, I would be exactly the same in every way. Same thoughts, same actions, same emotions, everything, right? And I have written here on my board, I have like tasks, and it says at least, and then something. I have clean room at least 5 minutes a day. At least. If I want to, I could do it for hours, but it has to be at least 5 minutes. If I do the 5, I'm just going to do the same thing where I increase every day. clips for two people, short form clips. I just open the video, right? So I'm watching like, someone's podcast and I have to clip it. Just open it. You don't even have to clip it. But the odds are when you open it, you're going to clip it. That is pathetic, right? That's sad that I can't even tell myself, oh, do a clip. I'm saying just open the podcast. Just open the video and then you're going to end up clipping it, right? But I might have to start there. So, meditation, at least 5 minutes. Usually go for 15, but it's on and off, right? I'll not do it 3 days, do it a day. Next day I'm back, whatever. Gratitude, at least 5 minutes today. And social media. Boom. Flick the camera on and start talking. Here we are. This is important because what happens after 30 days of YouTube uploading? You might be way ahead. You might be at 100 subs, 1,000 subs. This is what is firing me up right now. Is like there are people that are out there, and this is kind of the main idea I wanted to reach. There are people out there that are getting better every single fucking day. Like while you are doing whatever you're doing, there is a guy, a girl running 10 miles or in the gym or working on their business or making a YouTube video or making a TikTok, right? Whatever it is. That is crazy to me because I just started to see wow, if I ran an extra mile, I accomplished something huge yesterday. I ran 5 miles. I've never done that in my life. But today, I would top it. I would set my personal record today. But then tomorrow, I'd set my personal record tomorrow. And then I'd do it again, and then again, and then again, and then again. And it became this crazy, holy shit, that's how important a day is. Right? That's how big it is. Like I said, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get in a run today. Which is just sounds stupid because I'm just telling you how important a day is and then being like, I'm going to miss today. But it's so fucking crazy how I would be setting a PR for myself every single day. I was setting a new high and getting these personal wins every day. I was crushing it in my own personal life. No one was seeing this, but I knew I ran 1 mile, I ran 2 miles, I ran 3, I ran 4, I ran 5, I ran 6, so on and so on and so on. And every day, I would be just topping it. And I felt good the previous day. Imagine how good I feel now, right? Because I just topped it. And then tomorrow, I'm going to top it again. And then I'm going to top it again. And it's just, I started to just realize how that compounding effect works and how fucking powerful it is. It's crazy. Because like I said, most people are going to let time pass. Things are not going to change for them. Like I said, I have my areas for sure, but for the most part, I'm not letting things stay stagnant, right? At least I'm on the runs. At least I'm still going to the gym. At least I got to give myself some credit here, right? That I'm doing these things. Mindfulness practice, gratitude practice, eating better, right? I've been doing that pretty intensely as of late. Still not the best it could be, I'm sure, but a lot more of an improvement. These things, I guess the way I just want to sum this up is you have to realize that where you would be if you just started a thing and you did it every day and you did it either longer or a little bit better, I feel like you would, no, I know that whatever area it is, you would just be unstoppable and you wouldn't be the same person. And it doesn't even take that long, right? If I clean my room 5 minutes a day and every day I increase it by 5 minutes, at the end of the month, maybe I have a tolerance of cleaning my room for an hour, right? And I was like, damn, I couldn't do that for 5 minutes. Now I spend a whole time block, a whole hour doing that. And now I have a clean ass room. And now that's just who I am. But you might not be seeing how important that is. How to get to the extreme of okay, I'm a clean person, I'm a this person, I'm a this person, I'm a this person. You gotta do the thing and then increase it every day. Or even with YouTube, just do it every day, right? Like I talked about this before, I think, like the gap between, I said at the start too, but a week and a day. Posting once a week and one a day are not the same thing, right? So I just wanted to make this to just fire someone up because I'm fucking fired up. Um, yeah, I really don't want to go to class. I really want to go on a 6 mile run. But yeah, hopefully this fired you up. Hopefully you're starting to understand that, shit can change fast. Like shit can change so fast, right? Like in 1 month. Because a lot of people have this like, or maybe I'm just making this in my head, but like this sunk cost fallacy of like, oh, things haven't changed fast in the past. And it's because you haven't changed things fast. It's just that simple. It's like you've never done something and you've never done it over a long period of time and increased it daily. So it's like just because you're not used to things changing fast, like this month, you could be running this far or doing this many workouts or building this business, have this, amount of income, whatever. And I can't articulate it anymore how crazy it was for me to think that like just increasing a mile each day, I could be at like 30 miles by the end of the month. I was like, what the fuck? Like that's some crazy stuff. But yeah. So basically all this to say, get 1% better every day. I mean, that's kind of like the Atomic Habits motto and everything, but I feel like this was just my way of articulating it for 17 minutes long. So hopefully this is valuable. And yeah, with that said, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.